It's now time for the most talked about radio show in the whole wide world. That's FYI Radio Show with your host, Miss Yolanda, the Lady Hinton. I'm Ed Everett, the co-host. The music that you hear in the background is none other than Miss Yolanda, the Lady Hinton, where I am now. And if you'd like to see us live in WTPL 1350 Studio, WMVA 88.9 FM Studio, all you have to do is go to Edward Everett's Facebook page, Miss Yolanda, the Lady Hinton Facebook page, and guess what? You can see us live right here in the studio. And if you want to hear us all over the world, all you have to do is go to 1400 AM, 1350 AM, click and listen live. And now I want to introduce to some and present to others the host of the most talked about radio show in the whole wide world, Miss Yolanda, the Lady Hinton, and we say a pleasant good morning to you.
Good morning, Miss Nikki. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood.
Could you, will you be my neighbor?
Let's welcome our neighbors, our WGPL 1350 AM listeners.
Peace, 95.3 FM, WPCE 1400 AM, WMVA 88.9 FM.
Facebook Live is on and popping. Let's also welcome Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Instagram. Make sure you like, share, comment, and subscribe. We'll shout you out later on in the show.
Like, share, comment, and subscribe.
Like, share, comment, subscribe, and we promise we'll shout you out. Do me a favor, go over to YouTube at Crystal Records 1, that's CRISTO Records 1, or you can go to FYI Radio Show host Yolanda Hinton, and you can subscribe there. We promise if you go right now, we'll shout you out.
Shout out, yeah.
Listen, it's Fun Friday. I'm feeling it. The weather is beautiful here in the Hampton Roads area, and we're ready for the weekend.
That's right. I just got paid. You know how they used to say, I just got paid. Friday night, I just got paid, and I'm ready for the weekend.
We are so ready. I tell you what, I am just up and popping and geared up and just happy that we are now seeing the warm. This is our winter gone away, and our spring is here. And I tell you, I love the spring.
Is it here to stay?
It's here to stay. Don't worry about it. It's to be. We're here to stay. But I tell you what, it's Friday, and we have a wonderful, beautiful guest. We've known her for some time. She has been here on for some time, but she's back. Miss Tamika Quinn, and she is a health advocate, health heart advocate, author, and speaker. And I want to say good morning to Miss Tamika Quinn.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
How you doing, Tamika? It's been too long.
I'm doing very well. It has been so long.
Yeah.
Thank you for reconnecting.
I tell you what, we still follow you. You're doing great things. Very proud of you. You've been doing a lot of stuff still as a health advocate, a heart health advocate. Wrote a book, and we're going to talk about that too. And you're out there speaking, looking good, and your daughters is beautiful as ever. We just want to thank you so much for taking the time to be with us. But Tamika, tell us a little bit about where you're from, and then tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm originally from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I was born and raised there, finished high school there, and then went off into the military. And the military is what brought me to Hampton Roads. My husband and I were both in the Navy, and as many people know, he passed away in 2011 from thyroid cancer.
Yes.
But prior to that, when I was 27 years old, I suffered not one but two strokes.
Wow.
And it was the first stroke was 10 days after delivering my youngest daughter. And at that time, I didn't have medical conditions. I didn't think I was unhealthy aside from having developed preeclampsia during that pregnancy.
Yes.
And that's just high blood pressure induced by pregnancy. At that time, the doctor told me that once I had my daughter, it would go away. It's pretty common. That did not happen in my case. And
Yes.
so 10 days after delivering her, I had a stroke on the right side of my brain that left the entire left side of my body paralyzed. And a few days after that, I had a second stroke while in ICU
Oh,
that left cognitive changes and memory changes. And it's been a journey, but I will tell you that God is good and He's
Yeah.
always in the midst of everything.
yes.
I walk today, I run today, I can do practically most things that anyone else can do. But at that time, those doctors told me I would never walk
Oh,
again
my.
and
Look at
always
God.
need the assistance of others for the rest of my life.
Hmm.
But the God that we serve
Yeah.
has the final report. And so I'm happy to say that, through faith, through perseverance, through therapy, I am where I am today. And my purpose is to help others who look like us in
Yes.
particular prevent having to ever go through what I went through. Help others that look like us in particular know the signs, the warning signs, the symptoms of stroke, as well as heart attack, so that we can live a healthy and prosperous life.
Absolutely. Tamika, I wanted you to talk about being a heart health advocate. Tell us about that and how you got involved with that particular initiative.
Absolutely. Most people get into their career choice by choice, right? Something that
Yes.
they were interested in and took a serious look at it and did research, but this is the path I want to take. That's not my story. It's always something that that God has his hand in with it.
Yes.
I was invited to a bad stroke run. Not even because I had a stroke, but because my friend was in the event and he said there would be food there. And so that was enough to get me to want to go. So another girlfriend and I
Yes.
went really to support the event, kind of hang out. There were going to be a lot of activities, line dancing and things to put on. Even though I had these strokes, I really had put them in the back of my mind. And oftentimes, especially in women, we kind of compartmentalize things. Okay, I'm going to put this back here. I made it. I
Yes.
good. And we focus on everybody else. And so at that event, the speaker noted, and we're talking about a room full of a couple hundred
Wow.
people. This was sponsored by the American Heart Association. It was catered. It was a really nice event. And all along, I'm thinking, as my girlfriend and I are going through all the activities, oh, I can't wait until they serve the food. It was so big. And so we sit down to eat. And then my friend Jessica comes over, and most of you know her, Jessica Larson Washington.
Yes.
She's very well known. She comes over to the table and she says, Tanika, you want what happened? And I'm like, what? The speaker itself. At this time, I am not a speaker. At this time, I am an owner of Two Perfect Young Girl Spa. I am
Yes.
a young
That's
girl.
right.
I apply for kids, and I have not yet stepped on a stage to do what I do on a regular basis now.
Wow.
And so I said, the speaker didn't come. He said, no, we have no one else to talk. Can you just like go on the stage and share your story? And I said, what story? And she said, your story about your stroke.
Wow.
Can't talk about it. And at instant, I was thinking to myself, why did I do that? However, my other girlfriend is like, yeah, I think that'd be a good idea. And that was the moment
Oh,
where
wow.
my life shifted. That moment, I said, okay, hold my plate.
Yes.
And I go on the stage, and it was literally just from the heart, what I had gone through. I didn't have any talking points. I didn't have any statistics. I didn't have any factual information about heart health or stroke. What I had was my testimony.
Yes.
And when I finished sharing from the heart, people were running up to the stage to give me a hug, thanking me for sharing my story. And I was blown away that my story, my journey that I had gone through that was so horrific for me to impact people on such a positive level, it was life changing. And that is when my path shifted and went into the direction that it is now. That day, the American Heart Association wanted to partner with me to become an advocate for them. I had gone on to become a national spokesperson for the American Heart Association, as well as the chair of the Legislative Policy Committee, helping to get laws passed into, helping to get bills passed into law to help our health patients. And so this journey has been an amazing one that God has put me on that I would have never in a million years thought would be my life.
What a blessing. You know, I always tell people, I tell Mr. E about Miles Monroe used to say, potential needs an assignment in order to be realized. You were at the right place at the right time, and God knew that was in you. And all you needed was the assignment, and the assignment was there. How wonderful. So maybe we're going to talk about something that we talked about with you when you were on. We were in the Norfolk studio at the time on Church Street, and you had your daughter with you. And we wanted you to talk to us today about childhood obesity, and what that is, and why it was, why it was a great concern for you, your family, and why you spoke on it with us the last time we had you on.
Yes, it is childhood obesity is at an all-time high. Going into schools and talking with children, I've seen it over the last 10 years, the growth rate where elementary school students had started to look like middle school students, and middle school students have started to appear like high school students because of the weight. We're seeing disease, disease that our grandparents had started in the children now. And it's because of obesity. Obesity leads to every major disease we have. So if you think about specifically in our community, diabetes, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, heart disease, so they all start with obesity. They all start with obesity. Obesity feeds these diseases. And so when my daughter was 8 years old, she was diagnosed with severe high cholesterol and obesity. Two major factors for heart attack, for diabetes. And at the time, I had already had 2 strokes. I was already back going on the way to live a regular life. And most people think that I went on this health journey to make a full transformation because of the things that I went through. When I got through those 2 strokes, I had no changes. And I want to make it so clear that this is typical, especially for women. It's easier for women to make changes for everyone around them than it is for ourselves. And so I survived 2 strokes. I learned how to walk again. I learned how to drive again. I learned how to live my life again. I was still overweight. I still made poor food choices. I still did not include exercise into a daily regimen in my life. Even after having those strokes and having to go through so much to get back to a good state of life. Fast forward, when my 8-year-old daughter was diagnosed with severe high cholesterol and obesity, that was when it clicked for me. That I didn't want my daughter going down the same path that I went down. And you see the correlation, again, women especially will do more for others than we will for ourselves. We continually will put ourselves on the back burner. And so at that time, I remember the pediatrician saying to us, as my children had gotten physicals, that first of all, why are your daughters 3 years apart but so drastically different in size? And she showed me this graph of where the weight should be and the height should be. And we knew that my oldest daughter was overweight. We knew it. You know, I had to shop for her in J.C. Penney's and get the husky size waist because regular size clothes did not fit her. We knew it because she was getting teased and bullied at school. We knew it once a little boy tried to poke my daughter in the cafeteria with a plastic fork making pig noises. We knew it. We knew it when she didn't want to play around other friends because she was embarrassed about her size. But I didn't make any changes. I continued to tell her that she was beautiful and that
Yes.
everything was going to be okay. I offered no solution. And so the day that the doctor told us that her cholesterol was so high that she needed to go over to CHKD to see a cardiologist,
Mhm.
there was a wake up bell that went off in my mind.
Yes.
My daughter's going to see a cardiologist at 8.
Wow.
We get to CHKD, and the doctor tells us that he wanted to put her on statin medication because of the history. Mom having stroke, dad having high cholesterol. She just anything can happen, a heart attack, a stroke. And we're sitting there thinking, what? An
Yes.
8-year-old? But I said, I'm not putting those medications on my daughter because they cause too many side effects, sterility, hair loss, all kinds of things. And at that time, all we had was Google. And as I'm sitting in the office Googling the medication, I'm thinking, there's no way I'm giving this to my daughter. So I asked the doctor what was the alternative. And he said to me, well, diet and exercise, but nobody has success doing that. And kind of chuckled.
Wow.
And it was almost as if it was a dare to me.
Yes.
A dare like nobody's going to do that and have success. But in my mind, we're gonna do it. I don't mind being first. So we refused the medication, and I called the pediatrician back and asked her what were the alternatives. What could be done to help the situation? And she referred us to a program through CHKD Hospital called Healthy You, where they taught the entire family how to make changes in the home. It didn't just focus on the child. It was a family-centered weight loss program so that everyone can make the changes at the same time, thus giving you much greater results. We had to do that program twice, and after the second time of going through it and learning about nutrition, learning about how exercise plays a role, because weight loss, people think is working out, working out, working out, but it's actually 80% nutrition and 20% exercise.
Oh,
Wow.
And once we got that down, we started to see changes in our home. I made changes in our home going from plates to sauces. We ate on big sauces. I literally threw the plates in the trash.
wow.
We made a full transition from the foods that were in our pantry and started to look at food differently. When I went grocery shopping, I would have the kids with me, and we would all look at the back of the boxes or the packages to see how much sodium are in the product, how much carbohydrate, how much cholesterol. We were on a mission to live. It took
Yes.
about a good year before I allowed my children to even spend the night at grandparents' houses because we had insisted that they follow the same food habits that we were, and
Yes.
because they weren't willing to, our kids were not able to spend the night over there because we could not trust them. And so when I got to a hard sit down, it was a real hard choice. I discontinued school lunch altogether because taking control of your children's food means taking control of all of their food. So my youngest daughter has never eaten school lunch. We went to preparing school lunches at home, doing meal prep, the whole nine. Anything that I had to do to ensure that, my daughter was going to live. And in the process, she lost 40 pounds.
Wow.
Um, Helping my daughter lose those 40 pounds, I lost 80 pounds.
Mm.
Whoa.
And it was something, yes, it was something that when I think about it, it doesn't seem like big changes to me now. But at the time, they were drastic changes to go from drinking Kool-Aid and sweetened tea all the time to drinking water and being okay with drinking water. Small changes lead to big results.
Yeah, I
Wow.
love
And
that.
the first part was committing to it, and we made that commitment as a family, and we stuck to it.
That is wonderful, marvelous. And I tell you what, the last time we saw her, she was looking so wonderful, so beautiful, and so productive. I wanted to ask you, Tamika, does genetics, environment, you already mentioned bad eating habits play a role in childhood obesity?
So, for years we heard the genetic piece of it, right?
Mhm.
Um, well, I'm just my family's big
That's
bone.
what they say.
Or, all of my aunties have this, whatever about our bodies. Genetics plays a very, very strong role in
Wow.
obesity. I mean, very small role. There are some cases where genetics is just, you're not going to get away from it. But in most cases, what we think about as genetics is about um, patterns. It's about what your family does, habits, behaviors. That's what hereditary, your behavior. You eat like your mom ate, and your mom eats like Big Mama ate.
That's right.
Yes.
And so that is the genetic piece. That you are continuing the behaviors of your family. You indulge in the same activities, and some of those activities make it non-activities. You do the things that you are accustomed to doing. You eat the things that you're accustomed to doing. So that is the true genetic piece. Where there is data that shows an impact, there are in food deserts.
Mhm.
So places like Berkeley, or places like North Philadelphia, where the access to fresh fruits and vegetables is very low, yes, we see a higher increase of diseases like we're talking about today. Um, I actually had a part in the sodium warning label bill being passed into office in Philadelphia, in my hometown. One of the proudest moments of my life, being able to partake in that journey to make it a law that restaurant owners have to disclose how much sodium are in prepared meals. We know today sometimes you might, roll up to a Chick-fil-A drive-through or go inside and you'll see the calorie count
Mhm.
next to a meal.
Yes.
Well, even the calorie count tells us one aspect. But what if I'm watching my sugar? I need to know what's the glucose count. What
Yes.
if I'm watching my sodium because I have high blood pressure? I really need to know the sodium count. So those things, those two key things are not passed this law anywhere. But in Philadelphia, we got the sodium warning label bill passed into law on the spot. When I went to testify for that hearing, there were so many hundreds of professionals from every major hospital, Johns Hopkins, you name it. There were doctors there from all over the country, the American Heart Association, other nonprofit organizations, all fighting for this bill to get passed. I remember sitting there giving my testimony talking about how I grew up in a food desert and how at 27, I didn't have other medical conditions besides how I ate. I had
Yes.
developed high blood pressure during his pregnancy. And one of the city council members, she started crying and she said she had gone through the same exact thing and that it's a problem, pre-eclampsia, and you don't know what's in the food. It's already cooked for you. And I can tell you this by example. We're not supposed to have more than 1,500 milligrams of sodium a day. That's the total American Heart Association try to give us this estimate.
Mhm.
You can go to TGI Fridays right now and get an order of baby back ribs, and there's more than 3,000
Oh my
milligrams of
goodness.
sodium in that one meal. And can you imagine someone who has high blood pressure already eating that meal and their blood
Yes.
pressure spiking even more?
Yes.
We need more in terms of being able to make healthy choices. We can't make those healthy choices if we don't even know what the choices are to make. So having that sodium label now,
Mhm.
affixed on all prepared meals in Philadelphia is something that's key and will give people, give them their choice back. We need that same bill here. I'm already working with one of our constituents to try to make that happen. And it's something
Yes.
that I'm going to keep on working on until it's done.
Oh, congratulations. We needed to spread throughout this country. That is
Yeah.
marvelous. Mr. E.
Good morning, Tamika. How are you?
Good morning. I'm great.
I want to apologize for the 76ers losing last night. So I just want to throw that in. But, as you begin to chat about the 85% of our bodies, the changing of our, I can concur to that because I did the same thing. I decided that I had to get my Dunlap away from me. So I started eating small portions of food and I began to lose about 20 pounds, lose weight like never before. Now, when we're dealing with our children, a lot of people say that our children need more exercise instead of sitting there playing games and eating snacks and not running and ripping. What is your concept on that?
That is a very, well, first I want to say congratulations. Losing 20 pounds is not easy, so congratulations to
Thank you.
you.
Yes.
But our times have changed. I can remember as a child never wanting to come in the house.
Yeah,
Like being outside and playing all day long. And it was school time, and as soon as I finished my homework, I was running outside. I mean, riding our bikes, playing jump rope, just ripping and running. And
Yes.
now you can clearly see that part what it's taken in our society. Children are much larger than what they have been
yeah,
over the
yeah.
years, and that sedentary piece plays a large part in it. And so you have children who are stuck to a video game or an iPad, they're not getting that physical piece of exercise. And I'll tell you, gym in school is not gym like it used to
That's
be
That's
when we
right.
right.
were either.
That's right.
They're not doing the physical activity. I can remember playing volleyball. I can remember my gym suit being wet at the gym
Yeah,
because we
Yes.
really exercise and we really got a workout in. It's not like that today. And so
Absolutely.
as parents, it's our responsibility. And I always put that on the parents. Some people talk about take the school didn't have our children. God gave us responsibility for our children. And so when we see a lack, we as parents need to fill the void. There
Yes.
is a lack of physical education being uh, in school, and there's a lack of physical activity by these children. So what do we do? We go back to when I was a child. My mother and my stepfather took us to the tennis court every weekend. I played tennis in high school. Tennis was a big part of our family's regimen. So we got that physical activity in when I was a child. What physical activities are you doing with your children? And when we went on the bike walking journey, we walked every night after dinner.
yeah.
That was our time, especially for me and my brother. It was our week time. We had to talk. We were walking through the neighborhood, and if we weren't walking like it was raining or cold, then we went to the gym. We
Absolutely.
had healthy program. We actually got a membership to the YMCA, and I still have three memberships today. One to my local gym right around the corner, and one to the Y as well, because I like to swim. And so
Absolutely.
when you incorporate exercise early for your children, they can see that my girls have one that graduated college and one that's still in college. They both use the gym in their apartment complex. Both of them.
That
Because
is,
it's
yes,
habit.
absolutely. Tamika, we need to get your information on how people can get your book. We need your website information and social media. Because we only have 1 minute, but I tell you what, we want to invite you to our fly after dark
Yeah.
show so you can really tell us more. But give us that information so our listeners and viewers can get it now.
Absolutely. Um, I just want to say that keep in mind, I will leave you with this. Keep in mind the seeds that you're planting in your children.
Yes.
Are they seeds that are going to harvest for healthy growth, or are they seeds that are going to harvest for unhealthy growth? Because if we are, pushing fast food and junk food, that's what's festering, that's what's growing. Those are the habits that will continue.
Yes.
We stopped fast food years ago. We stopped beef, pork, and chicken. Those habits will grow. Whatever seeds you plant as mom and dad. And so you can always get connected to me through my website, which is www.tanikaplan.com, and that's Tanika, Tanika. And my social media handles are all the same at author Tanika Quinn. And
Absolutely.
that's on Instagram as well as Facebook.
Well,
As
we
well as TikTok.
absolutely. Thank you so much for being on. Please consider our invitation for our FY After Dark, which comes on Monday at 6 p.m. Be blessed, Tamika. Enjoy your weekend.
Thank you so much. You guys as well.
God
Thank you.
bless you. Hold on just for a few minutes. We'll talk to you for a few minutes. God bless you.
For the past 30 minutes, you've been listening to FYI Radio Show. Your host, Miss Yolanda, the Lady Hinton. I'm Ed Everett, the co-host. Our special guest has been none other than Miss Jamaica Quinn. For more information about FYI, give us a call at 757-714-7861 or inbox us at FYI Radio Show Live at gmail.com. Don't forget to have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful weekend. Bye now.
All right, man. Mr. B, what a wonderful story, journey, a lifestyle change for the
Yeah,
family.
yeah,
Do
yeah.
you see how important it is for us to keep our health and the things, the consequences from not, taking care of this one vessel God has given us?
You know, Miss Hinton, she said something that was so pertinent, that was so great, and that we need to do. You know, back in the days of old, we went to school, we would have gym, we would run, we would rip, we would play
Yes.
volleyball, we would play baseball. We would be outdoors doing what we do. I was noticing during the Christmas holiday just past this year that there last year that there was so many streets that was vacant because there was no bicycles on the street. There was no roller skates
Wow.
anymore. There was no, nobody outside unless you had your iPad that you could come outside with. But there were so many people that was hung
Amazing.
around the person with the iPad. I'm suggesting that we need to do a telethon, a radiothon, and let our listening audience know, in order for us to be able to move to the next level in life with good health and heart health, that
Yes.
we have to really put down these devices.
Mhm. But listen, isn't it strange how the fast food industry is not really considering what we're consuming? Anytime she said the salt intake is so far above what's recommended, what y'all trying to do for us? I'm
Well,
trying to wonder, you know, why?
the salt is a preserver. And because that salt it is causes a preserver, what happens is they continue to try to save
That
the product that they do have. So what they and then when they get ready to cook the product, they sprinkle some more salt on it, and it sends your high blood pressure, your cholesterol, and everything else that you're doing. And not only that, what they fix it with and they dress it with. Let's say she said something about barbecue spare ribs. Well, the salt is already on the barbecue spare ribs, just
already
to
inside
keep
of it.
to preserve. Then you turn around and look at the sauce that they use and how they cook it, and they add more salt, and more salt. So we walking around here like a salt shaker. All they had
Yes.
to do to us is shake us, and the salt would come out. Because guess what? We done intake so much sodium,
Yes.
and the sodium has got into our blood cells. And I did this survey the other day for myself. Go home when you all get a chance, get a little jar with a lid on. Put some salt in it and fill it up with water. Turn it upside down, and you see the salt will not go nowhere. The salt will clog together again. Wherever you move that
And
salt,
it's not going nowhere.
it's not going nowhere. It'll clog together and it causes blockage.
Wow.
And that's why we got so much high blood pressure. That's why when a man or woman's waist is over the waist limit, that's why we got diabetes, high cholesterol, you name it, because it's in our waistline.
Yes.
And when you look at that salt in the jar, I shook it. I
Mhm.
shook it. And when I pulled the salt, pulled the water out, the same amount of salt that I put in there was the same amount of salt that came out.
I want to say good morning to Coach Rhonda. 2W, she joined us. Nisi Doom, how are you? Author Tamika Quinn, our very special guest. We want to say thank you so much for being on with us. We want you to be on our Monday
Yeah,
evening.
yeah, yeah.
We'll give you an email and some information so you can share more about it. I wanted to hear more and more and more. We didn't have the time, but our After Dark show is an hour long, and I would love for her to come back and join
We
our
need that.
audience.
We need
We
that.
need
Yeah.
that because, like she said, children in this day and time, they have so many issues and problems that they don't need to have, but we're doing something wrong. So we want her to come back with us. Sheila Robbins, my beautiful friend, she's on with us today. And we just thank you all for your support. Thank you for joining us. Our upcoming show, we have someone that's coming on who's talking about a lifestyle change. Mr. E, Mr. William Bynum. He did a whole overhaul, body, soul, spirit. He's going to be on the 16th. We want you all to continue to join us. We have our sports talk that's coming up. My sweet grandson got a chance last night this evening to go to Allen Iverson's classic. If you all want to see his picture with Allen Iverson, go to my Facebook page, personal page, and see him. And I tell you what, he is always meeting with somebody. You all know that he got a chance to meet Vice President Kamala
Yeah.
Harris.
Yeah.
They were in the mall in Washington, D.C., uh, town center, and she saw him. She said, "Come to me, young leader," and shook his hand. We got the picture and video on. I think I'll repost it. But he got that wonderful opportunity. But he loves sports, and it was a great opportunity for him. You all should join us on Monday, and we're going to have some fabulous folks coming on, fabulous topics, and we're very, very excited for being able to bring you all this great information.
You know, Miss Hinton, while you're on that, letting our listening audience know what we got coming up. You know, oftentimes men has a tendency of having psychological evaluation, not really telling the real story. So we got a psychiatrist coming on, and going to talk about the men, why the men need to be evaluated more than anybody else.
I tell you what, it's time for me to go. I got to do a few things on today. But don't forget to join us on Monday. Have a wonderful weekend. And don't forget, Make It All Right, the new single by Yolanda Hinton. Also, the books, Bulvic Academy. You can go to the website, BULBIC. Get the anti-bullying books there. You can get the game app there. Information about bullying and our yearly initiative. And just don't forget to just to support one another. Don't forget to enjoy this wonderful weather. And don't forget to change that lifestyle. You're going to get that on the first of the year. And we are following, we're actually doing it here at FYI. We want you to continue to take care of yourself. You only have one body. Think about the things that Ms. Quinn told us about our children and make some adjustments. But in the meantime, I gotta go, y'all. Be blessed. Thank you for joining us on today.
I want to thank you so much for tuning in to the most talked about radio show in the whole wide world. Don't forget to join us Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 9:30 to 10 on WGPL 1350 Peace 95.3, WMBA 88.9, WPCE 1400, and on all social media platforms. Also, congratulations to Ms. Hinton and to FYI because we've been on the radio. We've been on 10 social media platforms for almost 8 years, bringing you nothing but the very best. Don't forget to join us. And don't forget to have a wonderful weekend. Keep your raincoat on the side of you on Saturday, but have a wonderful weekend.
God bless you all. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Bye now.
Two up.